Who's Irish by Gish Jan. In China, people say mixed children are supposed to be smart, and definitely my granddaughter Sophie's smart. But Sophie is wild. Sophie is not like my daughter Natalie, or like me. I work hard my whole life and fierce besides. My husband always used to say he's afraid of me, and in our restaurant, busboys, cooks, all afraid of me too. Even the gang members come for protection money. They try to talk to my husband. When I am there, they stay away. If they come by mistake, they pretend they come to eat. They hide behind the menu. They order a lot of food. They talk about their mothers. Oh, my mother have some arthritis. Need to take some herbal medicine, they say. Oh, my mother getting old. Her hair all white now. I say, your mother's hair used to be white, but since she died it become black again. Why don't you go home once in a while and take a look? I tell them, Confucius say, filial son know what color his mother's hair is. My daughter is fierce too. She's a vice president in bank now. Her new house is big enough for everybody to have their own room, including me. But Sophie take after Natalie's husband's family. Their name is Shia, Irish. I always thought Irish people are like Chinese people, work so hard on the railroad, but now I know why the Chinese beat the Irish. Of course, not all Irish are like the Shia family. Of course not. My daughter tells me I should not say Irish this, Irish that. How do you like it when people say, the Chinese this, the Chinese that, she say? You know, the British call the Irish heathen, just like they call the Chinese, she say. You think the Opium War was bad. How would you like to live right next door to the British, she say. That is that. My daughter have a funny habit when she win an argument. She take a sip of something and look away, so the other person is not embarrassed. So I am not embarrassed. I do not call anybody anything either. I just happen to mention about the Shia family, an interesting fact. 4 brothers in the family, not one of them work. The mother, Bess, have a job before she got sick. She was executive secretary in a big company. She has handled everything for Big Shot. You would be surprised how complicated her job is. Not just type this, type that. Now she's a nice woman with clean house, but her boys, every one of them is on welfare, or so-called disability pay, or so-called severance pay, something. They say they cannot find work. This is not the economy of the 50s, but I say, even the black people doing better these days. Some of them live so fancy you'd be surprised. Why the Shia family have so much trouble? They're white people, they speak English. When I come to this country, I have no money and do not speak English. But my husband and I own our own restaurant before you die. Free and clear, no mortgage. Of course I understand I am just lucky, come from a country where food is popular all over the world. I understand it is not the Shia family fault they come from a country where everything is boiled. Still, I say, she's right. We should broaden our horizons, says one brother Jim at Thanksgiving. Forget about the car business. Think about egg rolls. Pad Thai, says another brother Mike. I'm going to make my fortune in Pad Thai. It's going to be the new pizza. I say, you people too picky about what you sell. Selling egg roll not good enough for you, but at least my husband and I can say we made it. What can you say? Tell me. What can you say? Nobody, everybody chew their tough turkey. I especially cannot understand my daughter's husband, John, who have no job but cannot take care of Sophie either. Because he's a man, he say, and that is the end of the sentence. Plain boiled food, plain boiled thinking. Even his name is plain boiled. John. Because I grew up with black bean sauce, Hawaiian sauce, garlic sauce, I always feel something is missing when my son-in-law talk. But okay, so my son-in-law can be a man, I am babysitter. 6-hour day, same as the old sitter, Crazy Amy, who quit. This is not so easy now that I am 68. Chinese age almost 70. Still I try. In China, daughter take care of mother. Here it is the other way around. Mother help daughter. Mother ask, anything else I can do? Otherwise, daughter complain mother is not supportive. I tell daughter, we do not have this word in Chinese, supportive. But my daughter is too busy to listen. She has to go to meeting. She has to write memo while husband go to the gym to be man. My daughter say otherwise he will be depressed. Seem like all his life he have this trouble, depression. Nobody wants to hire someone who's depressed, she say. It is important for him to keep up his spirits. Beautiful wife, beautiful daughter, beautiful house, oven can clean itself automatically. No money left over because only one income, but lucky enough got the babysitter for free. If John lived in China, he would be very happy. But he is not happy. Even at the gym thing goes wrong. One day he pull muscle, another day weight room too crowded. Always something. Until finally, hooray, he have a job. Then he feel pressure. I need to concentrate, he say. I need to focus. He is going to work for insurance company. Salesman job. My daughter buy him some special candy bars from the health food store. They say think on them and are supposed to help John think. I'm an old man in a young man's game, say John. I will need a new suit, say John. This time I'm not going to shoot myself in the foot, say John. Good, I say. She means to be supportive, my daughter say. Don't start don't start the send her back to China thing because we can't. Sophie is 3 years old American age, but already I see her nice Chinese side swallowed up by her wild Shia side. She look like mostly Chinese. Beautiful black hair, beautiful black eyes, nose perfect size, not so flat, look like something fell down. Not so large, look like some big deal got stuck in wrong face. Everything just right. Only her skin is a brown surprise to John family. So brown, they say. Even John say it. She never go in the sun, and still she is that color, he say, brown. They say nothing matter with the brown. They are just surprised. So brown. Natty is not that brown, they say. They say, seems like Sophie should be a color in between Natty and John. Seems funny a girl named Sophie Shia be brown. But she is brown. Maybe her name should be Sophie Brown. She never go in the sun, still she is that color, they say. Nothing the matter with brown, they're just surprised. The Shia family talks like this sometimes, going around and around like a Christmas tree train. Maybe John is not her father, I say one day to stop the train. And sure enough, train wreck. None of the brothers even say the word brown to me again. Instead, John's mother Beth say, I hope you're not offended. She say I did my best on those boys, but raising 4 boys with no father is no picnic. You have a beautiful family, I say. I'm getting old, she say. You deserve rest, I say. Too many boys make you old. I never had a daughter, she say. You have a daughter. I have a daughter, I say. Chinese people don't think daughter so great, but you're right, I have a daughter. I was never against the marriage, you know, she say. I never thought John was marrying down. I always thought Natty was just as good as white. I never against marriage either, I say. I just wonder if they look at the whole problem. Of course you pointed out the problem. You were a mother, she say. And now we both have a granddaughter, a little brown granddaughter, and she is so precious to me. I laugh. A little brown granddaughter, I say. To tell you the truth, I don't know how she came out so brown. We laugh some more. These days Bess needs a walker to walk. She takes so many pills she needs 2 glasses of water to get them all down. Her favorite TV show is about bloopers, and she loves her bird feeder. All day long she can watch that bird feeder like a cat. I can't wait for her to grow up, Bess says. I could use some female company. Too many boys, I say. Boys are fine, she say, but they do surround you after a while. You should take a break, come live with us, I say. Lots of girls at our house. Be careful what you offer, say Bess with a wink. Where I come from, people mean for you to move in when they say a thing like that. Nothing the matter with Sophie is outside, that's the truth. It is inside she is not like any Chinese girl I ever saw. We go to the park, this is what she do. She stand up in the stroller. She take up all her clothes and throw them in the fountain. Sophie, I say, stop. But she just laughed like a crazy person. Before I take over as babysitter, Sophie have that crazy person sitter Amy, the guitar player. My daughter thought this Amy very creative, another word we do not talk about in China. In China, we talk about whether they have difficulty or no difficulty. We talk about whether life is bitter, no bitter. In America, all day long, people talk about creative. Never mind, I can't even look at this Amy with her shirt so short, her belly button showing. This Amy thinks Sophie should love her body. When Sophie take off her diaper, Amy laugh. When Sophie run around naked, Amy said she wouldn't want to wear that diaper either. When Sophie takes off her shoes, Amy say bare feet is best. Even pediatricians say so. That is why Sophie now walk around with no shoes like a beggar child. Also why Sophie loves to take off her clothes. Turn around, say the boys in the park. Let's see that. Of course Sophie doesn't understand. Sophie clap her hands. I am the only one to say no. This is not a game. It has nothing to do with John's family, my daughter say. Amy was way too permissive, that's all. But I think if Sophie was not wild inside, she would not take off her shoes and clothes to begin with. Never take off your clothes when you are little, I say. All my Chinese friends have babies. I never saw one of them act wild like that. Look, my daughter said, I have a big presentation tomorrow. John and my daughter agree. Sophie is a problem, but they don't know what to do. They spank her. You spank her. She stop, I say another day. But they say, oh no. In America, parents not supposed to spank the child. It gives them low self-esteem, my daughter say, and that leads to problems later, as I happen to know. My daughter never have big presentation the next day when the subject of spanking come up. I don't want you to touch Sophie, she say. No spanking, period. Don't tell me what to do, I say. My daughter have another funny habit when she loses an argument. She spread all her fingers out and look at them, as if she would like to make sure they are all still there. My daughter is fierce like me, but she and John think it's better to explain to Sophie that clothes are a good idea. This is not so hard in the cold weather. In warm weather, it's very hard. Use your words, my daughter say. That's what we tell Sophie. How about it if you set a good example? As if a good example mean anything to Sophie. I am so fierce gang members who come to the restaurant all afraid of me, but Sophie is not afraid. I say, Sophie, if you take off your clothes, no snack. I say, Sophie, if you take off your clothes, no lunch. I say, Sophie, if you take off your clothes, no park. Pretty soon we are stay at home all day, and by the end of 6 hours she still did not have one thing to eat. You never saw a child stubborn like that. I'm hungry, she cry when my daughter come home. What's the matter? Doesn't your grandmother feed you? My daughter laugh. No, Sophie say. She don't feed me anything. My daughter laugh again. Here you go, she say. She say to John, Sophie must be growing. Growing like a weed, I say. Still Sophie take off her clothes until one day I spank her. Not too hard, but she cry. And when I tell her if she do not put her clothes back on, I spank her again, she put her clothes back on. Then I tell her she is a good girl and give her some nice food to eat. The next day we go to the park. Like a nice Chinese girl, she do not take off her clothes. Stop taking off her clothes, I report. Finally! How did you do it? My daughter asks. Oh, after 28 years experience with you, I guess I learned something, I say. It must have been a phase, John say, and his voice is suddenly like an expert. His voice is like an expert about everything these days, now that he carry a leather briefcase and wear shiny shoes and go shopping for new car. On the company, he say. A free car, how do you like that? It's good to see you in the saddle again, my daughter say. Some of your family patterns are scary. At least I don't drink, he say. I'm not the one with scary family patterns. Laughter. That's for sure, say my daughter. Everyone is happy. Even I am happy. Because there's more trouble with Sophie, but now I think I can help her Chinese side fight against her wild side. I teach her to eat food with fork or spoon or chopstick. She cannot just grab into the middle of a bowl of noodles. I teach her not to play with the garbage can. Sometimes I spank her, but not too often, not too hard. Still there are problems. Sophie likes to climb everything. If there is a railing, she is never next to it. She is always on top of it. Also, Sophie likes to hit the mommies of her friends. She learned this from her playground best friend Sinbad, who is 4. Sinbad wear army clothes every day and liked to ambush his mommy. He is the one who dug a big hole under the play structure, a foxhole he call it, all by himself. Very hard working. Now he wait in the foxhole with a shovel full of wet sand. When his mommy come, he throw it right at her. Oh, it's all right, his mommy said. You can't get rid of war games. It's a part of their imaginative play. All boys go through it. Also, he liked to kick his mommy, and one day he'd tell Sophie to kick his mommy, too. Kick her, Sinbad say. Sophie kick her. A little kick, as if she just so happened was swinging her leg, didn't realize that big mommy leg was in the way. Still I spank Sophie and make Sophie say she's sorry. And what does the mommy do? Really, it's all right, she say. It didn't hurt. After that, Sophie learned she can attack mommies in the playground. And some will say stop, but others will say, oh, she didn't mean it, especially if they realize Sophie will be punished. This is how one bigger trouble come. The bigger trouble start when Sophie hide in the foxhole with that shovel full of sand. She wait, and when I come look for her, she throw it at me, all over my nice clean clothes. Sophie, I say, come out of there, say you're sorry.